Here's a brief overview of our system. We have 4 vocal microphones and 2 talkback microphones for a total of 6 handheld systems. To get our 6 mics into one directional antenna, we have 2 of the EW-D ASA antenna splitters, which would give us a total of 8 available signals. For the antenna, MicRentals recommended the RF venue antenna for its reliability and ease of setup, given that you only need one of them for both antenna signals. To have each receiver receive power from the splitters via the antenna cables, you have to map them in a sort of tricky way. Each receiver needs to be going into an A slot on one transmitter and a B slot on the other one. In the end, each splitter sends one of the 2 final inputs into the RF venue antenna. I know that's a bit of a head spinner. If you plan to do a similar setup to this and want more clarification, I left a cheat sheet in the description with links to all the gear that we purchased, as well as diagrams of how we set it all up. I highly recommend doing it this way, as it eliminates all of the power cables from your receivers, cleaning things up quite a bit. Now, you might be skeptical of a digital wireless system given that they don't have the best track record, but unlike 2.4 or 5 gigahertz systems of the past that are prone to wireless interference and high latency, these digital wireless systems, despite the name, aren't completely digital. They use an analog ultra high frequency UHF carrier signal just like an analog system. The main difference, however, is that digital systems are sending zeros and ones over the signal rather than pure analog audio. Basically, it converts your audio to digital at the transmitter and sends the digital information to your receiver, which then decodes it back to analog. Because your receiver only deals with digital data, it doesn't have to worry about removing analog noise or interference, and the EW-D system does this with an extremely low latency of 1.9 milliseconds. I'm going to pass this over to Jesse from MicRentals to explain why these mics are great for small to medium churches.
First major benefit of these is that they're actually digital, so you should be able to use more of them together in a tighter space. There's virtually no intermod that comes off of these, even when you get the 2 transmitters really close together. So I've seen charts of this happening where they took a competing manufacturer's highest end wireless, 2 of them right up against each other, and you could still see intermod pop up between them. These, it was clean between them. Intermod is harmonics. Any music, any frequencies that you're dealing with, if you have one frequency pop up here, you have another frequency pop up in another space, there will be a harmonic that will appear between them. As you're adding more and more, you get more of those harmonics and they get louder and louder. In the digital space, those harmonics are greatly reduced because there's nothing transmitting outside of the tight little band of frequency these units are outputting. The Sennheiser units, they're even tighter. You won't have that intermod stuff pop up between, so it's a lot easier to get a whole lot more compacted together. You're not going to have to worry nearly as much about interference between them as long as they're all set up and coordinated together.
Like a lot of other churches, we weren't using a dedicated antenna before our upgrade, which introduced all kinds of problems that would still be present even with the new digital gear. I'm going to pass it back over to Jesse to explain why he recommended the RF venue antenna to us and why it's awesome for small to medium churches.
We got you an external antenna so you would have a much tighter pickup pattern. If you're using like just a couple of units that are like right there on stage, you probably don't need an external antenna. Once you get a few more going, you really want to be able to tie them together and get an antenna out there that will get you a much tighter pickup pattern. So if you're using the standard whips, these are picking up from all the way around them. They're omnidirectional, so they're picking up anything and everything. If you're using just a couple units, you're right there, not a big deal at all. If you're getting into a few more units, you really want to clean up your environment, then you go to an external antenna. So this one that we got you, say RF venue antenna. These are nice because they're an all-in-one solution. You only have to set it out in one location. So that is the RF venue antenna. This antenna is doing one side of your pickup from the paddle here, and it's doing another side of your pickup from the 2 whips out the side. It's really cool about using the RF venue antenna. 1, it only has to go in one location. 2, it is picking up RF waveforms on 2 planes. So this one is picking up vertically polarized waves, and then the antennas hanging outside are picking up horizontally polarized waves. So if your transmitter is vertical, Great. The paddle is picking up most of that. As it starts to get turned, these are going to pick up more of that. I'm trying to remember the exact math on this, and somebody is totally going to make comment and correct me, and that's fine. It was supposed to be something like, as soon as you turn sideways, you've lost something like 50% of your transmission power. Now I'm trying to remember this from a seminar I went to like 15 years ago now. So really old data.
Now you might be curious about capsule choices. These new digital systems utilize the same capsule mount as all of the old wireless systems. So if you already have a bunch, you can still use them. Along with third-party capsule options like SE, Neumann, and DPA, you have a great selection of Sennheiser capsules as well. I'm gonna let Jesse give a brief overview of some of the Sennheiser options.
There's the 865, which is very much like the 835s that came with these, except it's more of a directional pattern. There's a step up from the 835 to the 935. So the 900 line was built off of more of their high-end capsules that they were trying to redesign into a way that could be used into their current connection system. And there's some of their newer capsules, the 435, which is just a regular cardioid pattern. And then there's the 445, which is far more directional. They figured out a way to, in a dynamic capsule, get it directional and get the rejection much, much better. This thing is like a spotlight, so super directional. So like if you're right up on it, you're gonna be heard loud and clear. As soon as you get off of it a little bit, it's gone. The volume level drops drastically, so you have to be right up on it. So if you've got a singer that's got really good control to be able to stay up on the mic, this is fantastic for rejection, for staying out of stage wedges or drum bleed from all around, because that always happens with everybody. As long as you've got somebody who can really have good discipline and stay on the capsule.
All right, now let's get into a few things that we love about the EW-D system. One thing we love is how much easier they are to set up the proper frequencies. Each receiver connects to your phone via Bluetooth, and then with a click of a button in the app, it scans frequencies, picks the best one for each of your transmitters, and spaces them apart properly. For most churches, this is a game changer, given that most volunteers, if not all, and church tech staff are not experts in wireless. Another thing that we love is the new rechargeable batteries. This was one of the biggest negatives with the old Evolution gear. AA batteries were your only option. Not only are they wasteful, but they have horrible battery life, especially with the rechargeable ones. These new Sennheiser batteries achieve over 12 hours of battery life and have a much longer lifespan than rechargeable AAs. An added plus is that you can still put AAs into these EW-D mics if you need them in a pinch. With the entry-level system like ours, you still have to remove the batteries to charge them, which is kind of a bummer, but if you get the upgraded EW-D-X system, you can charge the batteries without removing them via the dock for the transmitter. A third thing we love is the body-mounted mute switch that comes standard on each transmitter. If you worry that the mute switch is going to cause some problems with some people in your church, you can also disable it inside the app, which is a really cool feature. Now, there are a few things that we don't love about the EW-D mics, so let's briefly get into that. The first thing is that the metal is thinner, and the threads for the battery compartment and the capsule mount don't feel the best. It constantly feels like you're cross-threading it even though you aren't. The old EW-100 mics at the same price point had much smoother feeling threads. However, if weight is a big concern to you, then you'll appreciate the lighter weight of these mics, especially when you're using them for long periods of time. The second thing that we don't love is that there is no display on these entry-level versions, so you have to use another way to identify which mic is which. We ended up ordering these color coders for the bottom of the mic, but the EW-100 mics came with a display at the same price point as these, so it would have been nice to see. You have to upgrade to the EW-DX for that display. There's a lot to love about the EW-D microphone systems. If you have a bigger budget to work with, you can spring for the higher end versions, but the base model brings a lot to the table and will probably be the best choice for most small to medium sized churches. Be sure to check out the cheat sheet in the description where I listed out all of the gear that we bought to make this system work, as well as how we set it all up. Hey, on the topic of microphones, you'll also love this video about time aligning your audience mics for better live stream audio. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.